Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. We all know that progress towards the SDGs has suffered a severe setback due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But let us be reminded that it is the poorest people and the poorest countries that have borne the brunt, and the world is actually now on a divergent path of recovery. Developed countries with 60% of their people vaccinated and $17 trillion in financial stimulus are on the path to recovery. But on the other hand, developing countries with less than 4% of their people vaccinated and burdened by debt and lack of access to liquidity are in various stages of economic stagnation. In Pakistan, we have been lucky so far as we have been able to contain the health and economic impacts of the pandemic through our policy of smart lockdowns and expanded social protection. Our economy is back on a healthy growth trajectory, and Pakistan's social protection program, EHSAS, which means compassion, is recognized as a global model. But it is critical to narrow the gap between developed and developing countries by ensuring vaccination of at least 70% of their population within the next year. By ensuring debt relief and emergency concessional financing, including through the reallocation of $100 to $150 billion of the unutilized STRs of the richer countries, and through the fulfillment of the $100 billion pledge for climate finance to create green stimulus in order to finance successful examples, such as from my own country of the 10 billion tree tsunami reforestation drive, which will also create thousands of green jobs. But beyond the present emergency, the international community led by the United Nations must also promote a series of reforms in the global economic architecture. First, there is the need to expand financial access of developing countries through a more equitable distribution of IMF quotas, halting and reversing illicit financial flows from developing countries, and installing an equitable international tax regime. Secondly, there is need for massive mobilization of public and private investment to facilitate the transition to green and digital economies. Third, there is need to reform the world trade regime to enable developing countries to expand their exports to global markets on a preferential basis. In the fourth place, an opportunity is within reach to leverage the crisis as a platform for radical change in the way the state conceives and provides social protection. We believe this is also the time to revisit the scope of public policy support at the intersection of social protection and the labor market, and promote out-of-box solutions, especially for the informal economies, which is what Achim Steiner also referred to earlier during the course of this session. The facts are clear. The social protection of today is the human capital, the resilience and the economic inclusion of tomorrow. And this is not wishful thinking, but solid public policy rooted in robust empirical evidence. I would also like to mention in conclusion that Pakistan, Turkey, Nigeria, Costa Rica, and the World Bank have initiated a proposal for the universal adoption of social protection and the establishment of a knowledge platform to facilitate that policy reform. I urge each and every country to join us in our efforts to incorporate social protection as a policy instrument to build back better. I thank you.